Today is day 132 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on at 25% of the way through learning Ruby on Rails. We kind of ran into some technical issues. We'll call it buggy beta version type stuff, although it's definitely not that, or not in that state. Dun, 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 dun. If it loads. Okay, so, yeah, no, this is, I mean, it's their newer, I'm pretty sure this is one of their newer courses. Not that it's necessarily a new course. I think they've had Ruby and Ruby on Rails on Codecademy for like probably 2 to 3 years now, maybe. But it's their like newer environment. As you go through different languages, you'll see it jump between the languages on their old environment and system versus the new format. So it seems like it's part of the new format, but it just seems like there's a lot of we ran into a lot of issues. There were only six sections yesterday, and like 4 or 5 out of those sections had issues. So, hey, little cat, what do you want? You just want scratches? Yeah. You excited for Ruby on Rails? No? We'll find out. We're going to give it another shot. Today, we're going to be learning saving data. Kind of cool, right? Possibly. How about we at least click into save? No. You're not going to be laying right here the whole time. You know what? If you're not going to assume the napping position below the desk like normal, why are you so furry? Yeah. Then, thank you. You hold that for like all of 28 to 32 seconds. No? Hold on. We're struggling. There's a lot going on here. There's a cat and like coding and webcam issues. Will you scooch your furry? Thank you. All right. Oh, and she's down for the count. Good. I'd like to know this is a cat. Can we see that? Can we identify that? This is, yes, that is her tail. We are tailing. That is an animal. Okay. Good. One last rundown. We've got my audio, checkity check, webcam, checkity check, Codecademy, little kitty, and the chat on our phone, and ample amounts of fur floating around us. Absolutely disgusting. We're good. Everything is running smoothly-ish. Let's do this. Section 2 of learning Ruby on Rails. Saving data. Go time. Little kitty, you can nap on the desk as long as you don't move the friggin' webcam. Alright? I can't see how many sections there are. Stupid dad. Your head's blocking there of the screen. And your face is blocking the stupid terminal for the bash file. God damn it. Okay, whatever. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. We'll work around the cat, literally. 7 sections. Not terrible. Better than 35. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? So far, we've built, God, the world's itchiest nose. I don't know why. Oh, you know what it is? It's the cat on the desk. Stupid animal. Love you. Love wings. Family Guy? No, that's okay. Quagmire loves that. Not important. We're railsing right now. So far, we've built a Rails app containing a static page. To do this, we used a controller, a route, and a view. The request response cycle, which was the handy doc, which we can open that up once more. Background stuff, and it circles around and it goes through those things. Why is our mouse so jumpy? There we go. How it works, 1 through 6. Kyle opens his browser. Rails router kicks in, goes over to the controller, requests the view, and then sends it back to the controller, and the controller sends it to Kyle's browser. Way cool. Alright, so the request response cycle summarizes these how these 3 parts work together. However, a Rails app with static pages looks the same for all users. How can we create apps that save information? We do this with a database. Here's how a database fits into the request response cycle. Check out the diagram in the browser. All right, so let's make this full screen. Codecademy. Request Response Cycle 2, Guide for Navigating a Dynamic Rails App. Background. When developing a Rails app, the request response cycle is a useful guide to see how all the app's files and folders fit together. The request response cycle traces how a user's request flows through the app. Understanding the request response cycle is helpful to figure out which of the files to edit when developing an app and where to look when things aren't working. You're so furry, little kitty. Yeah, I'm scratching her while reading because I can do that. How about you stop slapping things with your tail, though, on the desk? No? She's not going to stop. How it works. Okay, we got that giant thing. We're going to have to... Her head is in the way, to be completely honest. So, you know what? Maybe... Can we... How's that look? Yeah, we can kind of read around the webcam. We can read to 5, 6. We can read to 6 around the webcam and have most of the diagram in view. Alright, 1. A user opens his browser, types in a URL, and presses enter. When a user presses enter, the browser makes a request for that URL. There is a mic and a webcam blocking the screen, the lower right portion, specifically from like this area over. Yeah, going down like so. Good. All right. Anywho. What we made it through the first, we're requesting things too. The request hits the Rails router, config/routes.rb. The router maps the URL to the correct controller and action to handle the request. 4, the action receives the request and asks the model to fetch the data from the database. 5, the model returns a list to the, the model returns a list of the data to the controller action. 6, the controller action passes the controller action passes the data onto the view. Good. All right. 7, the view renders the page as HTML. 8, the controller sends the HTML back to the browser. The page loads and the user sees it. We'll go ahead and open that once more. Wow, little kitty, your face and her face is blocking basically to where the Codecademy stuff. Yeah, her face is blocking like all this. We've got ears going up and like head moving, and it's not good. Not good. That's why we read it over to the edge to keep the diagram in screen. But now that we've made it past that, we're just finish this, move on. In this way, the request response cycle is a useful way to see how a Rails app's files and folders are for. What the Grammatically, that did not go well. In this way, the request response cycle is a useful way to see how a Rails app's file and folders are for and how they fit together. I don't like the phrasing of that sentence. We can minimize that. Does it have all the same data over here? It probably does. Check out the diagram in the browser. When you type blah 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 welcome, which we don't have, so the browser makes a request for the current for the URL welcome. Do we do that now? I don't know if we're supposed to do that now. Little kitty, I'm struggling breathing, and it's all your fault. How do we add another tab to their browser? First person who knows how to add another tab to this nightmare gets a half nickel. There is nothing. Oh, they do have the back button. What if we do Control-Alt, Control-V? Keyboard's under the desk. Enter. Yeah, nothing found. Back. God, cat, I can feel your fur all up in my mouth. We're going to not worry about the welcome example that they mentioned in the very first line. Lord only knows why they chose to put when you type this here as their example, and we can't check that out, but whatever. So we're using the mysterious example that doesn't exist. When you type welcome, a browser makes a request for the URL welcome. The request hits the Rails router. Router maps the URL to a controller to handle the request. The controller action receives the request, asks the model to fetch data from the database. The model returns the data to the controller action. 6. The controller action passes the data onto the view. 7. The view renders the HTML or renders the page as HTML. And 8. The controller sends the HTML back to the browser. That was essentially the same song and dance. So Kyle, browser, Rails router. 3. Controller. 4. Model, database, back to model. Model goes to controller, view back to controller, and then back to browser. Kyle gets to see it. Awesome. All right, section 1. Don't mind the angry error. They're crazy. Let's see how to incorporate a database by building a Rails app for a messaging service. Create a new Rails app named Messenger app using the Rails new command. Sure. Was it? I'm totally drawing a blank on what to type and where. God, little kitty, I feel like my face is just like hella itchy. We got your tail swinging around, like right, it's just out of the camera, but oh my god, this is everywhere. Her tail, my face, and the fur, man, it's bad. Furry death. Son of a... The kitty, oh, Mr. Demon Wolf, hey, how are you doing? The kitty loves you. Yeah, just a little too much. We're having to make major accommodations for little kitty tonight. Normally she'll sleep sideways, like along the desk. No, just perpendicular to the screen, like dead on. There's like a loaf of kitty, a vertical loaf of kitty between me and the monitor. It's not good. Not good. Alright, so... just shot in the dark. I'm gonna do copy v. This is not right at all. I don't even remember. Yeah, that is not recognized. I don't even recognize that. It's gotta be something that doesn't feel stupid. Mr. Demon Wolf, we need a kitty cam someday. That is true. This had the potential. It was either me or the cat. And for a while it was going to be the cat. But then it seemed easier to have it on me. I didn't have a good place to like mount it. And I felt like I needed multiple camera angles for when she wanders around the room. This is ridiculous. Oh my god, hold on. Don't mind me. She's cleaning her toes right now. Holy shit, she's falling over cleaning her toes. She put her leg up too high and tipped over. Oh my god, I was gonna record it, but now she's just given up and napping on the desk. At some point, we're gonna be coding Ruby, I swear. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. Rails new. Let's try it reversed. Rails new. Oh, that's bad. That's not right. Copy. B. Enter. Ha ha. There we go. One down. That was close. All right. So we did that. Install the gems in gem file. I don't know how to do that. It's install gem file, right? We got the first one wrong. We did message app Rails new, but we fixed it. It was Rails new messenger app. So now I think it's just install gem file. Why are there no examples in this? They're just like, hey, Topher's here. Nice, nice. This is golden. Oh god, not just gem file. Hey, little cat, will you stop licking orifices on your body? I'm trying to look at the screen and you're going all out right here. Can we acknowledge this is a cat foot? Is that, yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, she's back to napping. Holy hell. I'm trying to juggle focusing on the code. Install gem file, right? Install gem file. Oh my god, I can't. No, I'm not even typing down there. I'm just pounding away on the keyboard. Does that work? That works. That works. Oh, holy hell. Little kitty, you're the reason they invented cigarettes. I don't even smoke, but I could see why someone would if they had to deal with the likes of you 24/7. Oh, it's okay. Let it go. Let it go. She's just a cat. She's just trying to clean parts of her body. Enter. Command not recognized. What's going down in chat? Gem install gem name, I assume. Fine with weed and baking. I smoke, but not cigs. Yeah, well, no, just I've got the long. Hey, cat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, look. No. Will you sit your ass on the bed? Why are no, I can't see. You're blocking at least what is that? 42% of the screen? No. Codecademy. Yeah. Okay. There we go. We're good. There's a lot of fur. Okay. Clearing the fur. Oh my god, are you still there? Yes, I'm still here. They need a cat extension timer for Codecademy. Holy hell. Alright, okay. Get back coding. Sweet baby Jesus. Close that. Yeah, no, back to me. No, I don't smoke. I'd like to note that I've had allergies essentially my entire life, so I've always had the lung capacity of like an 80-year-old man since forever. So it's already hard enough for me to breathe. I don't need to add additional things on top of that to make it more interesting. Yeah, I'm already easy with cat fur around me. It's bad times. So that's that. I'm not, I'm not against it. I don't think it would quite benefit me the same as most, if that's even possible. All right. What's going down? Chat stuff, vaping and alternatives, and yes, exploding vape things. Those are fun YouTube videos. Yeah, good. All right. Install the gem file. A new terminal session? Soul crushing. New session. We're gonna have to retype. Do we have to reinstall the Messenger Rails thing? I don't think we do. This is my nightmare. Oh, it's so much easier having the keyboard on my desk. Now the little kitty's gone. She's just sleeping on the bed or doing whatever, miting me behind me. Typical cat. Alright, so bundle install. That's what it is. And that explains the error code they had. Bundle to install the gems. Stupid language. Alright, is that it? Bundle install? I wonder, now my concern is if I have to run Rails again, because it's a new terminal file. We'll try doing it without. Bundle install. That worked. That works. Cool. 2 down. We are almost done with 1. Yeah, you'd think 7 wouldn't take that long, but no. This is Ruby hell, scratch that, Rails hell, where even the smallest activities take forever because nothing's easy when there's Ruby involved. Run the local server to view the app. Sure, why not? And click. Nothing shows up yet again. Beautiful. But they gave us green check mark. Onwards. Section 2 of 7. Great. By their definitions, that's great, sure. You created a new Rails app named Messenger app. Looking at the request response cycle, we need 4 parts to build. Ugh, so much cat fur all over. Can't breathe. Damn you, little kitty. You and your furry toes. Look at the request response cycle. We need 4 parts to build a Rails app. A model, a route, a controller, and a view. Let's start by creating a model. In the terminal, generate a new model named message. Rails generate model message. We're going to type this first one out just because we can. Rails generate model message. Enter. Thinking. Lots of stuff here in the terminal. Something about ATA source and IME zone. CTIV support. Initializable? Who is initializable? I'm not entirely sure that's a word. CH strongly, decomponent, and some other stuff. Alright, so not a whole lot going on there. Alright, turns out battery is defective. Any battery can blow up. It's a risk we take. True. But I don't put those items in my mouth. Your phone could blow up near your Mr. Demon Wolf. Well, your phone could blow up near your ear, and what I have to say to that is your phone could blow up in your mouth. So that's what I have to contribute to that conversation. 2. Open the migration file in db migrate. Opening something db database migrate, and for the message for the messages table. The name of the migration file starts with the timestamp of when it was created inside the change method. Add this on line 4. I'm assuming they want the only file inside of migrate is seeds. Yet you still use your phone. No one calls me. Good. Alright, don't mind me. Focusing on this nightmare. Somehow we made it past 1. Open the migration file. The name of migration file with the timestamp. I don't think there was a migration file with the timestamp name. Inside the change method. What the change method? Maybe they're talking about within here. Add this on line 4. I'm 87% sure that this is another activity that's just completely missing, that either we need to add ourselves or it just doesn't exist. Who wants to bet on that? Because if this is anything like yesterday's stream and activity, everything was missing, and we literally had to break each activity to reset the exercise so we could move on. I'm just going to put this in. Text content. Remember to add t.text content to the migration file. Here's the migration file. Here's the seed stuff. This file should contain all the records needed to seed the database with its default values. The data can then be loaded with the rake db seed or created alongside the db setup. Example, cities equals city.create name Chicago, name Copenhagen, mayor.create name Emmanuel City, city.first, one message.create content. We're at the beach, so you should meet us here. I make a mean sandcastle message2.create or m2 message.create. Let's meet there. This is hellish. So Rails generate model. Yeah, we're just gonna run it because something's missing and everything's terrible. Don't mind me. Having trouble? Yeah, no shit. Get code. Alright, restoring workspace. Oh, workspace restored. How very interesting. All these sections were missing from migrate. What do you know? And look at this. It fills out everything beautifully. We're still going to run through. Son of a... Alright. Hoping Streamlabs API would give access to the same info that the text files give you. Their API leaves a lot to be desired. What's the other, non-Streamlabs? I thought... Damn, I'm drawing a blank. Is it Muxy? You should check out Muxy. Muxy is a similar type of... I don't know if that just does... I mean, it can be used for things like the follower notifications and the donations and stuff, but I'm pretty sure they have the log files on there as well. Muxy, yeah, exactly. MUXY. I mean, I haven't tinkered with Muxy too much. I've only dabbled with Streamlabs lightly, but yeah, that's a thing. At least if I'm not mistaken. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. You're trying to do clever stuff. I'm here in my little novice world, just trying to connect the dots. Good, good, good. You're creating galaxies with the dots. Not me, not me. I'm like 12,000 steps behind you, but that's all right. So we ended up having the environment fix itself. What did they do to fix it? Open migration in the DB migrate. So database, migrate. Now that's interesting. When the folder, okay, so within migrate, there's the timestamp create. Let's open that file. So here is where we were adding, where they wanted us to add t.text content on line 4, which they so kindly did. 3, then in the terminal, run, which it's not there anymore, but that's okay. New terminal, rake db migrate, that runs, and then we run rake db seed afterwards. And we did it anyways because we know the next section is going to be completely destroyed. All right, so what did we just do? What did they just do? Let's find out. 1. The Rails generate model. Command created a new model named message. In doing so, Rails created 2 files. 1. A model file in app model/messages.rb. The model represents a table in the database. 2. A migration file in db migrate. Migrations are a way to update the database. 2. The open migration file in db migrate. The migration file contains a few things. 1. Change method tells Rails what to change to make the database. Here, it uses the create table method to create a new table in the database for storing messages. 2. Inside the create table, we added t.text content. This will create a text column called content in the messages table. The final line, t.timestamps, is a Rails command that creates 2 more columns in the messages table called created at and updated at. These columns are automatically set when a message is created and updated. 3. Rake db migrate comes updated. No, just kidding. Command updates. The rake db migrate command updates the database with the new message data model. Finally, the rake db seeds command seeds. So damn confusing. What's going down? Hold on. Don't mind me. Just a thought. Your voice seems to cut out when you speak more softly. Might want to check your noise gate settings in OBS. Seems like it might be related to that. It probably is. I need to do another audio overhaul because yeah, I haven't touched any settings in the last 132 days, and God knows I need to. The audio still like cracks and pops in certain things. So yeah, that's that. 4. Finally, the rake db seed command seeds the database with the sampled data from dbseeds.rb. Okay, so all of that's meaningless. And now we're on to the next section. 1. Now that we have a model, let's move on to the second and third parts of the request response cycle and create a controller and a route. Generate a controller named messages. No idea how to do that. How do we set up controller? Controller. The new Rails app, something Rails generate controller. There we go. So there's a couple steps to it. Rails generate controller pages. Oh, and then we were adding stuff to controller. Right. So here we're going to do Rails generate controller messages and run. Holy shit, we got a green check mark. Something's actually working for us. In the routes file, create a route that maps the URL messages to the messages controller's index action. Is this routing after Rails finishes? Open up within, add, no. Now we need to route something. So routes. Now we have a controller. Okay, get welcome to pages. Now that we have a controller, let's move the second part of the request response cycle and create a route. Open config routes B, and underneath line 1. God, no, that's not right. Config. There's no routes. Oh, yes, there is. Routes. They had the space after. That's right. Get welcome blah. So we will want get welcome to pages on home. We'll want messages into index, I think. In the route file, create a route that maps / to that. Where are we putting this? Last time it was in config and routes, so we'll be routing it. Application route do. Full screen. This is a friggin' nightmare. Break routes. We're gonna drop it in on line 4 just because we can. And we're gonna do something with it. Messages. This seems so awful. Get welcome to pages / home. Inside the pages controller. So this would be messages. So get blah. Get blah to messages. I don't know if that should be capitalized. I kind of feel like it should be. Coder, already disliking a Ruby failed. Yes, let the hate flow through you. Oh my god, you have no idea. It's so awful. Holy fuck. Who decided this was a good idea? Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Oh my god, it's just... I don't know what to do in this freaking gem hell. Little kitties here. What do you hate Ruby too? You just want little scratches? Yeah, you want scratches. Look at you. Covered in fur and love. You don't give a damn about Ruby. True, you don't give a damn about any other languages, but that's okay. Because you're a cat. Hey, why don't you stay on the bed instead of coming over here? Because I'm ready to jump out the window. No, 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 son of a bitch. Maybe if we ignore her, she'll go away. Yeah, no, she's gonna sleep on the desk. Okay, just don't press the escape key or anything stupid. You can stay on the desk. Alright, we're supposed to do messages and like index or something. Copy. Let's do slash messages and no, I need to read and Ruby's awful. I love you, princess, but you're small. Index. I don't think any of this is right, but frankly, I don't damn. Oh, wait, look at this. Look at this. Root welcome index. Ha ha. Deal with it. So we're gonna do hashtag. That makes sense. Oh god, I hit something on my computer. There we go. I'm back. Everything minimized. Index, which means this guy gets a slash something. Slash messages. Maybe it's just index. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's the worst part of town ever. Fuck it. We're gonna run it. This is awful. Good. What's the error? Home user support. Hey, this was the same error from yesterday. I think it was on section 3 or 4. Frankly, I'm just gonna keep hitting run until I feel better about life. So that's a thing. Good. One more time. I think. There we go. Having trouble. It's like they're mind readers. Alright, get code. What did they do? Isn't that what we had? Am I confused? Now, true, mine was between all of their nonsense. But I'm pretty sure I had get slash messages and messages hashtag index. Right? That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, that's what I had. That is what I had. They've got me second guessing myself. Good. They've got it on line 3. I had it buried within the other lines, but still, that's what I put. Not cool. Alright, so what'd they do for 3? We got 2 right. They just didn't want to give it to us. Oh, and look, everything's perfect on their end now, but the error is still here. Typical. How is someone who's new to learning this supposed to know what's right and what's wrong when it's this convoluted? Anyways, section 3. Then in the messages controller, app controllers messages controller. Let's find it. We'll find it. Oh, There's a control thing somewhere. App controllers messages. Define index app messages. Define index app messages. And then that runs and everyone's happy. Onwards. Next. Section 4 of my nightmare. Out of 7. If it loads. Did it just totally give up on... There we go. There's the sidebar. Sidebar away. Marching on. I am so glad that the next section of Ruby is only 2 hours. And they said this section was 5 hours and there's only 4 units. I am so happy to know that there is so little Ruby in my life left. At least here in Codecademy. Alright, section 4. Nice work. Now we added a controller and a route to the Rails app. Why does the messages controller use an action named index? Check out the diagram in the browser. Rails provides 7 standard controller actions for doing common operations with data. Here we want to display a list of all messages, so we use the index action. Putting it all together, one, when a user visits localhost 8000 messages, the routes file maps this request to the messages controller's index action. Two, the index action retrieves all the messages from the database and stores them in variable app messages. The app messages variable is passed to the view. The view should display each message. So let's set it up next. All right, and here is whatever they have going on. Standard controller actions. Guides for Ruby's 7 standard controller actions used for displaying and modifying data. Ruby on Rails defines 7 standard controller actions, can be used to do common things such as display and modify data, HTTP verb, the path, the controller, hashtag action, and what it's used for. Get, /messages, hashtag index, display a list of all the messages. So really what we're looking at, we've got get and post, patch/put, and delete. Everything's, for their example, is /messages, and then depending on the path, new messages, or the message ID, or the ID and edit, :ID, or :ID again. And then really what we want to focus on is after the controller portion, which is messages, the hashtag action. So index, new, create, show, edit, update, and destroy. Those are the actual tools. Index does display a list of all messages. New returns an HTML form for creating a new message. Create creates a new message. Display a specific message is show. Edit, return an HTML form for editing a message. Update a specific message. And then destroy, delete a specific message. If you want to create roles, if you want to create routes for all 7 actions in your app, you can add a resource route to your route files. The resource route below maps URL to the messages 7 actions: index, show, new, create, edit, update, and destroy. Resource :messages. If you only want to create routes for specific actions, you can use :only to fine-tune the resource route. This line maps URLs only to the messages controllers index and show actions. Resources: only, index, and show. Okay. That's good to know on some level. 1. Instructions. Damn you, little kitty, I can barely breathe. We'll suffer through this, and if we live, when we get to section 5, I can blow my nose. Breathing is for winners, and right now we are losing hard. Instructions. Open views messages index.html.erb under line 11. Open. Good. Open app views messages index.html.erb line underline 11, so line 12. Good. Correct. Tab. Type the content you see here. We're not gonna type that. Copy. Paste. %@messages.each do message div class message paragraph class content messages % equals messages.content % paragraph dot created at closing paragraph closing div % end %. All right. Let's go ahead and run that. It's thinking. I have to run the bash file. Enter. No, it hates everything we're doing. What if we close the bash file and run this? still hates us. Fantastic. Damn you, Ruby. I don't know if I should be upset at Ruby or at Codecademy. It feels like both. But I haven't run into this many issues in any other language, so that makes me really concerned. Because it's been 132 days with 15 different courses and I don't know how many languages, 9 different languages, yet we've only experienced consistent hell in Ruby? Come on, what are the odds of that, right? I realize some course is bound to have issues, and maybe it was just luck of the draw that course happens to be Ruby. But seriously, it doesn't seem all that plausible. Visit localhost 8000 in the browser. Maybe that's what was holding us back. Who knows? No one wants to find out. 5. Section 5. I'm supposed to blow my nose so I can breathe, but I'm holding off, praying I suffocate so I don't have to finish the rest of this lesson. Happy thoughts. We're gonna make it through this. I can't even take a deep breath because I can't breathe because of little kitty and the allergies, so now I'm just trapped with all the stress inside. This is awful. People have aneurysms on stream all the time, right? It's totally normal for Twitch. Okay. Nice work. Good. Mock us. Kick us while we're down. Nice work. The app now displays a list of all messages in the database. How does this work? The file index.html.erb is a web template. Web templates are HTML files that contain variables and control flow statements. Rather than write the same HTML over and over again for each message, we can use web templates to loop through and display data from the database. In this case, messages, at messages dot each do message iterates through the message in at messages array. We created at messages in the messages controllers index action. 2. For each message, we use %equals message.content and %equals message.create at to display its content and the time when it was created. The default web templating language in Rails is embedded Ruby or ERB. That's what ERB stands for. They tell us now. They could have told us that yesterday, but I guess mystery is what keeps this thing going, because that's all they've got left. Just a bunch of smoke and mirrors trying to learn Ruby, but that's okay. We're gonna make it through, whether we like it or not. Why are there 7 sections? And in the new environment, when you do the get code thing, it just solves everything. It doesn't solve that step. So when we inevitably screw up on section 1, not even to our own doing, it's gonna solve all of this stuff. That's okay. Reading through it's easier. Be happy. Trying our best. Section 1. So far, we've been loading messages from the database and displaying them in the view. How can we create new messages and save them to the database? Looking at the 7 standard Rails actions, which we have open. What are we? Oh my god, and it's going to open it over there. Stupid website. That's okay. It's okay. Be happy. It's never going to load. New tab, right click, open like a new tab. There we go. Doing random nonsense. There we go. That's solved. This guy. Oh look, it's the same thing again. Beautiful. What are we looking at? Section 1. So far, we've been loading messages from the database and displaying them in view. How can we create new we're gonna do something. Looking at the 7 standard Rails actions, we need to use the new and create actions. Let's set them up now. In the routes file, routes was under database. Migrate, no. Config. Routes, okay. Under the routes file, create a route that maps requests to messages /new to the message controller's new action. I don't know what any of those words mean. Damn. We're gonna open this. So in the routes file, create a route that maps request to messages /new to the message controller's new action. Okay. So message index one thing. So we're gonna have another one. Copy this. Watch this. I guess give it an extra space. I don't know how they feel about formatting in this. So here we're going to have copy messages /new, and over here in index, it's going to be hashtag new because we're telling it this is the action. The controller hashtag action is the messages controller, hashtag new message is the action we want, and then it's going to do that. Hopefully, praying to God, run. Fuck, death. Why? What could be wrong? You've got to be kidding me. Copy this. See, we copied it. Command Z. Undo that. Watch this. Run again. Hates us. Run again. We're going to get there. Still hates us. Run once more. Ta-da, having trouble. How did they know? Get code and oh, look at that. What's this? Get messages / oh my god, it was the extra slash. You've got to be kidding me. You know what? F that noise. Get help. Restart the exercise. Yes, reset. I'm going to clear this section, section 5. Now, this is what I had for. Okay? So close that, run, and it will give us an error. Correct. Okay. Now let's add the slash in front. Run again. Oh, look. Still an error. Fascinating, right? Now, the other thing was they had it nestled right under line 3. So, now we've got the right code. I don't know if space is an issue in Ruby. They haven't told us. Yeah, we're already into the next course, Ruby on Rails. Not even Ruby anymore. So let's run. And that was a failure too. So there was also that post thing that we needed to add, but everything was grayed out, and we never got a green check mark. Let's do get code once again, and we will see. Oh, look, is now exactly what they had and gave us, and it still didn't go green. This is what we're dealing with. So, story time will continue on foot with everything thrown in already for us because it's just catastrophically confused. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? 2. Then in messages controller, below the index action. Wait a second. Looking at 7, we need to use new and create. Let's set them up now. In the route files, create a route that maps new messages new. Message controller. The only thing I can think of is the create issue, but I still don't believe them. We're going to reset this one more time. Well, that's section 3 create, and there's some supposed to be. Yeah, no, we're not going to reset. It's just dumb. That's what it is. It shouldn't be that hard to figure it out. We've made it 132 days and made it mostly this far without struggling this much, so 131 days of struggling has been my fault. They can have 1 day of awfulness assigned to them. 2. Then in messages controller, below the index action, add the new action, define new app messages equals message.new. Where is this being added? In the messages controller, app controller messages, define new message, define new, then 3 in routes, add this route to map requests to messages controller, create action, post messages, messages create, this guy on line 6, which I believe finishes what they were discussing in section 1. They discussed both new and create, however, they only requested one be done. We move to 2, we come back to create on 3. The inconsistency is off the charts. Makes my soul feel awful. Death. Okay. Then in the messages controller, which we are back into, below the new action, this guy, create, add a private method named message params. Maybe it's this guy. Type, yes, private, define messages params.require message permit content end. 5. Between the new action and the private method, add a create action. Between the new method and the private, add a create. Define create messages. Define create messages. Message dot. Nope. We're busy. Love you. We're running out of time to stream, so we gotta keep chugging along. Define create app messages equals message.new message parameters if app message.save redirect to /messages else render new and end. 6 next in app /view /messages dot /new dot html dot erb underline 11. So this guy, underline 11, type in the content as you see here. Wait. Oh, new. Okay, so that's app views messages new different file. Here we go. Line 11, underline 11, I guess. Type in the content as you see here. Percent form for app messages do f div class field f.label message f.text area class action f.submit create closing divs end. Finally, in app /view messages.index.html.erb, this guy. Here we go. Below the %messages dot each do message and end all of that noise, roughly. Add a block, or after that block, add %link to new message new here. Lastly, visit localhost 8000 messages in the browser, click on new message to add a message of your own. And we click on this now that everything has a green check mark and nothing is found. Good times. Let's continue on. Because why should this nightmare ever end? Nicely done. They're too kind. Oh good, 6 is just reading. Alright. Nicely done. The new app now takes in messages through a form and saves them into the database. How does it work? Let's use the request/response cycle as a guide to trace how a user's request flows through the app. When you visit messages new to create a new message, it triggers the first turn of the request/response cycle. 1. The browser makes an HTTP GET request for the URL /messages/new. The Rails router maps this URL to the messages controller's new action. The new action creates a new message object at messages and passes it on to the view in app/views/messages /new.html.erb. 3. In the view, form 4 creates a form with the fields of the app messages object. Then you will fill out the form and press create. It triggers the second turn of the request response cycle. 1. The browser sends the data to the Rails app via the HTTP post request to the URL /messages. 2. This time, the Rails router maps this URL to the create action. The create action uses the messages params method to safely collect data from the form and update the database. Here we use a link to create a link to messages new. Instead of hard coding anchor elements, we can use link to generate links. The first parameter is the link text. The second parameter is the URL. Click next to continue. Let's do yeah, we can read more time. You know what? That is all the same nonsense that we just read through over here on this guy. It might be slightly more detailed, but it's just awful. Ruby has us down and out. It is not good. Every time I come to this channel and he's doing Ruby, someone is in chat hating Ruby to no end. Hello, streamer. It's been difficult. We've made it. We're almost out of Ruby, kind of, I hope. I don't want to hate Ruby. Codecademy is definitely an interesting place to learn. There's a lot of great courses that they've had. Some courses aren't as spectacular as others. The Ruby one, and I'm sure it's different for each person. I'm sure some people have come to Codecademy, done the Ruby course, and were like, hell yeah, best day ever. I got Ruby all up in my face, learning coding, learning Rails. Sure, it's probably happened, but for me, and especially after experiencing so much of Codecademy to this point, it's not vibing, and it hurts. It's soul crushing, and I want it to be over with. I mean to try. Are you still here? Emotionally, no. Ruby's made us dead on the inside. Never done Codecademy. What do you dislike about Ruby in particular? There's actually I'm still so new, even though it's 132 days of learning to code. All of it has really been here at Code Academy. Well, at least the stream, the last 132 days of streaming have all been at Code Academy. So, you know, seeing how HTML, the structure of it, and CSS and all that stuff, and then how JavaScript ties into it, and then how Sass ties into CSS, and how you can tie that into JavaScript. Like everything, they've taught each language how it's unique, and they don't explicitly explain how it's like all tied together, but it's definitely, well, I mean, anyways, point is, after going through all that, it's been that vibe and feel all the way through all the languages. You know, jQuery builds on JavaScript, which still ties back to HTML and CSS on how it all works together, or you can throw in React.js or Angular, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to Ruby, though, what they ended up doing, and I'll show the first section of Ruby, and there's nothing inherently wrong with how they start it, but introduction, let's open up introduction to Ruby. It's Ruby's a powerful, flexible programming language you can use on the web, internet. Ruby framework, high level, easy to read, okay, interpreted, easy to use. This course right here, this little tidbit, I'll even zoom in because we can. So, this course assumes no previous knowledge of Ruby in particular or programming/computer science in general, which is totally fine. That's okay, considering most people, when they come to Code Academy, are clickety-click, back to the catalog. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're going to tie it all together. A lot of these, Code Academy isn't necessarily meant to be done the way I'm doing it. I'm trying to force something that isn't actually there. They offer all of these courses, but this isn't one giant course. It is a catalog. It's not. This isn't a mega syllabus. You know, I probably could have just focused on all the individual JavaScript courses and left. Most people would just come to Code Academy, from my understanding, and just be like, "Ooh, Ruby." Do the Ruby stuff and then go on their merry way, do whatever they want. They presented it in a bad way, essentially. Mostly. What's going down? Oh, and Topher literally takes the words out of my mouth. Never done Code Academy. What do you dislike? Okay, get that. All the web technologies. What about Ruby is worse than Python, say? It could be that Code Academy, so it's painful because it's review. So just more on it now. That was sort of the culmination. That was a lot of build-up and just a lot of general crap. Here's the issue. It's regarding on how it's presented. It seems I did have some knowledge of HTML and CSS. I've had some knowledge of SQL and some other stuff. But I've gone through all of these courses with an open mind. And as I'm getting more experience, I still hit the reset button. Even though it's day 132, it's only like day 6 or 7 of Ruby for me. Actually, well, it's day 2 or 3 of Ruby on Rails, so I keep hitting the reset button every time I go to a new course. So it's like I've been a new programmer like 14, 15 times for, you know, like a week long or so. So I've gotten good and used to starting from scratch. The way the instructions are set up and the environment for how they teach it, let's go back to section 5, which was a perfect example. It's not set up well for their environment. So every time, and this is too long of a one to redo everything, but you know what? We're going to do it because we don't really need to worry. Restart the exercise. This is a perfect example. Don't mind the fact that it started off with an error. Here we go. In apps, no. config and routes underneath get messages index, we are going to be setting up new and create. This is the issue with the environment. Both the instructions on how they set it up, they're not necessarily bad, they just aren't very good. One of the other things is that, like a lot of the courses, usually they'll have examples similar to what's grayed out. This is actually one of the better pages, even out of the 7 that they have. I think this is the first or second page that has examples here in the instructional area. It's little things like that. More often than not, you're just left with nothing. Not that they have to show examples for everything and hold your hand through all that, but it's there's a lot of little things that I've noticed. It's been 132 days of Codecademy. Deeply familiar with how they've presented their information. All the little not fun quirks are just bad times. I think for Ruby to be better, it needs to be presented in a different way, and I probably should be doing a side project. For me personally, and how they have it set up in their site, after going through all the other courses, it just doesn't sit well. That's the shortest answer I can give. But honing in on the issue, we've got, it's basically the same thing. Copy and tab, enter. Here, new and messages. The action will be new, and the route will be messages/new. This should trigger a green check mark. It should be essentially perfect. I don't know if space is an issue in Ruby. We will bump it back. But go ahead and run, and it gives us an error. How do we know it's correct? Because don't mind me. We'll get back to the chat and in issues. Running. So every single one, all 5 pages have been like this, or all 5 sections of this one activity alone just for today. All yesterday was like this, and a good chunk of Ruby was similar to this too. Having trouble, get code. And then they put in all the information for you. As you can see, it is exactly what we had entered here. This little bit on line 6, although they do mention create here in section 1, they actually don't have you put create in until section 3. And there's this odd step in section 2. It's the flow of the instructions, how it's actually happening. This is just one very specific example, but things like this happen a lot. And this is also, this same type of thing really is what happens in other courses that aren't exactly great here on Codecademy, is that exact type of scenario where things aren't really matching up. So it's more of the Codecademy environment that makes learning the language hard. Again, I don't actually have anything against Ruby itself. This whole situation with the error doesn't mean Ruby's bad. It just means the Codecademy environment and the activities and the instructions are a bad combination. It provides a less than desirable learning environment. So that's what's going down. Okay. After that ridiculous rant, back to chat. My apologies. Could be presented in a bad way. If that's your first experience with Ruby, it may shape your viewpoint. That's what I'm saying. Point of clarification, I asked about Ruby, which is a programming language. You're talking about Rails, which is the entire framework. True. So that's like, from my understanding, Rails is to Ruby as jQuery is to JavaScript. And again, it's not so much, I'm not against Ruby, as I just mentioned, or learning Ruby. I would like to. I was also interested in learning Python. There were less issues like we were experiencing here in Ruby. A lot less issues, but still some on occasion in Python that made it a little hard to learn. Their instructions weren't all that clear for some of the activities. And because of that, the environment and the I guess just the experience of learning Python here at Codecademy wasn't exactly the best because of some of the site issues. That doesn't make Python any lesser of a language. So it's been juggling those issues. So yes, I would like to learn Ruby. I'm planning on doing side projects for all the languages individually, and then also different side projects trying to put as many languages together. I obviously know HTML and CSS can be used with JavaScript, and I can sprinkle jQuery and Sass in there and like cram. I want to see how many languages and throw all in together. And yeah, so that should be interesting. So, you were talking about Rails, which is an entire framework, not even kind of. Oh, jQuery is a library. It's a utility. Rails is a framework. But okay, I can see why learning Rails in a CA Codecademy context might be less than ideal. I've never used their platform, so I don't have much context. I learned Rails when it was the hot new thing by actually building a company with it. See, tons of fun. And again, see, even it's done. I still have such limited knowledge. I really just been within the Codecademy because I'm just trying to get a taste and it's what direction to commit to. I've spent 132 days committed to tasting the different foundations of the levels. When I go to commit to a language, this is the practice. I'm kind of a crazy, slightly eccentric person. We'll call it super eccentric when it comes to commitment. So yeah, this is the exploratory phase. Dear God, only who knows who's going to be able to save us when I actually commit to learning one language. Holy hell. It's going to be bad times. So, anyways, that's what I have to say about that. So, but yeah, it should be interesting. For my references, yeah, perfect example. I've only got the knowledge and comparison here within Codecademy, and it's all very. They were going into it in the intro to Ruby. Was that it's a high-level course. Even their most detailed, in-depth course here at Codecademy is still extremely high-level, not very nitty-gritty type of stuff, which I assume I'll find elsewhere at other sites with other resources, probably paid-for content. So yeah, that's that. It's a whole awful situation that I somehow set up for myself, but it's been interesting. So yeah, that's that. It's just trying to navigate through the Ruby nightmare here on Codecademy has been brutal. And that's another highlighting point, is that I've learned more about navigating the quirks of Codecademy's sites in Ruby than I have learned about Ruby itself. From a tech support, IT, general IT perspective, that's probably not a good sign. Like the fact that the not found, it can never load the page. Even when I do the code reset and it gives all the green check marks like we did, it still doesn't load the page that it should be showing over on the right. These are all minor tech issues. And my concern isn't so much just for me. I realize that if someone just came, I've spent 132 days at Codecademy, and I realize that it's an issue with the site. But if someone didn't know and they just came to Codecademy only for Ruby, that's going to be their experience, and they don't know what's right or wrong. And it's just, in general, not a great situation. The majority of the last 132 days have been awesome. It has been awesome. I would totally do it again. But, yeah, your timing on the views, watching me suffer, has been, a perfect timing on both your part and mine, I guess. Okay, back to the Dark Ages. Well, then let me just say in closing that I have no particular love for Ruby, but it's totally viable and productive and can be incredibly fun. I bet that it is, but it's a shame that any time I come into your channel, seem utterly depressed about using it. Programming should be fun. Agreed. Don't mind me. Do. Hold on. Okay, let me finish. We've got... That's strange. Holding. Okay, programming should be fun. Topher programming is fun. Codecademy is meh. That's another thing. Totally get that. That's why you should explore other side projects outside of Codecademy. Maybe after you finish a particular topic. I probably should, kind of like you did with Python. What did I do after Python? Was that when you gave the lovely side project thing? That was good. I feel like you're not growing anymore with Codecademy. Try Udemy. I have the JavaScript, one of the Udemy courses from JavaScript, bought and paid for. That's probably going to be wedged between something and what's it called? Between Codecademy and Free Code Camp. Yeah, we'll knock that out. Or hey, trying to go to meetups, people are always happy to help, or building something. All of that to come. The other goal was to just get through Codecademy. It's also string coding in general was just something to get me going on Twitch too. Yeah, there's a lot. I've got a phone call on hold for over a minute now. It is my missus. Just a moment. Don't mind me. Think amongst yourselves. Go team. Yay chat. Alright, crisis averted. The missus with food she needed tending to. Alright. Totally agree. Learn by doing. How dare she call you streaming? Yes, all of that, right? Alright, congratulations. So yes, projects. Definitely. I'm concerned when I start my projects that they're gonna consume me. Crazy person. Legitimate concerns for me. I digress. Congratulations. Let's knock out section 7. Congratulations. You built a messaging app that uses a database to store messages. Also lives. What can we generalize so far? A model represents a table and a database. A migration is a way to update the database with a new table or changes to an existing table. Rails provides 7 standard controller actions for doing common things, such as display and create data. Data can be displayed in the view using ERB web templating, and data can be saved into the database using a web form. Let's go ahead and check and see what is up next. Associations 1. That will be for tomorrow, day 133. There we go. Alright, so we'll take a peek at what is on the horizon for day 133. We built a Rails app that stores data using a single model. What if we want to build an app with more than one kind of data, like team and athlete? Both team and athlete would have to have different columns and would get messy to represent both in one model. Instead, we can represent them using 2 models. Let's see how this works by building a Rails app for a travel app tomorrow. Let's check our stats as we conclude day 132. What's going down in the chat? You can do a small project. You don't have to create the next tech innovation. True. Oh yes, no, but it'll be lots of small projects. and we love to tinker. I can't speak for everyone, but yeah, projects should consume you. You'll just strive to finish and improve as you go. Why did you choose Ruby? Oh god. I didn't choose Ruby. Ruby chose us. Well, here's a good. So it's been 100. We started here 131 days ago, and now 132 days later, we're now here in Ruby Hell in the heart of the beast. Yeah, it's where we're at. It's part of the journey. Catalog. I'm considering learning to program. I have high anxiety, and it was suggested to me to help with my career endeavors. Sounds like it could be helpful, something to invest yourself in. I think it's been interesting and fun for me, even as a hobby. So I've been going through just course after course. These are new courses they added about 2 to 3 weeks ago now, I think. I've been going through one course at a time, one after another. Ruby on Rails, which we're now 50% of the way through. Hell yeah. Then we've got Ruby on Rails authentication. Then Java. Then we're knocking out SQL. And then PHP. And then the Watson API. Good times. And then we are free. We get to escape Codecademy. Actually, I'll end up knocking those two out at the end, but meh. Right? So, yes, good. What were we doing? The concluding stats for day 132. So we are concluding day 132, 50% of the way through Ruby on Rails with 1,519 points of frustration, confusion, some achievement, and a few good times as well. View the profile. With 211 badges. To note, let's go ahead and what's going down in chat. If you're feeling anxious, it's completely normal. There's a lot to learn. If you want to learn, experiment with various courses within platforms like Codecademy or Treehouse. Treehouse is another one that'll probably be after Free Code Camp that I need to try. Even YouTube videos. Try to get a feel for what you're interested in. Do you find you're more interested in back-end work? Maybe you're a front-end dude. Find what fits. That's exactly what I was doing and am doing here at Codecademy. A feel for all the different courses they have to offer. I also like to sort of know, I guess we'll call it know my place, where I kind of fit. Even if I did just decide to, in the end, stick to only HTML or CSS, become some CSS SaaS guru, I'd like to know where it, like, fits in the whole coding world and environment and system. Obviously, if you were to just become a CSS guru or SaaS guru or whatnot, you would learn and know that it fits with HTML and the design aspects, or really whatever language you're piling on top of. But in the scheme of things, having a full understanding, and just that language and like one level down. Like if you ask someone, oh, why are you interested in this? And sometimes they don't even have an answer to why, that first level down, or maybe they only have that first level of why are they interested in something, or why are they compelled to do that? Why do you like a certain type of music? It's a lot of the times there's no additional level, or it only goes down one notch. I like to have the additional layers below to really back up my vision. So that way when I'm complaining about the learning experience on Ruby, it's not just some crazy guy on a random afternoon or evening generally frustrated just because I've got all these other courses and days behind us to back up my said frustration. Good. Alright, finding what fits. I essentially have a hard time working around a lot of people. I've been doing I've been doing call center work all my life, just trying to find out the most efficient language to start in. I was initially considering learning Xcode and Swift to make an iOS app, but I'm not too sure that's a good idea. Swift is super popular. I mean, iOS apps are super high in demand. I would just love to work on my own. Swift and Xcode are also on the list, along with the whole C group of C languages, C, C#, C++. But all that stuff is missing here from Codecademy, so we have to go to places like, I think Free Code Camp has some of the C languages, and other places. Probably have to pick up a Udemy course. Yeah. All right. Good times. I think we're backing out the stream, but what's going down? Love to work on my own. Not gonna lie, working on your own has its challenges. True that. Trying to make a thing. Lots of work, lots of effort. What did we need to do? We were backing out, closing out of the stream. Where are we going? There we go. Backing out of here. Codecademy's good. HTML and CSS, that first course, learning HTML and CSS and learning JavaScript, both of those are their intro courses. They have their more in-depth HTML and CSS course and their more in-depth JavaScript course. These courses really cover the fundamentals. These courses as well cover the fundamentals, but then they go into some of the more advanced concepts, but they scratch the surface of the advanced concepts. So keep that in mind. And with that said, we'll go ahead and back out of the stream. Good times. Thank you to everyone who stopped by. We've got /had Mr. Demon Wolf, Topher, Seg, Tailless Whip, Osmotic, and lastly, start small. Start with a small project on your own, even if it's a small task tracker app. Just get used to working on something. Yeah, the daily thing, that's another helpful thing for the stream. Forces me to code every day, like learning a language. Very helpful to practice daily. I think that's been a huge help, at least for me. And the stream helps force me to do it every day. So, yeah, these are all Tailless's advice is extremely on point. ABC, always be coding. See, look at that. Pulling little tips out of his hat all the time. All right, we're good. I just jumped into OBS. Look, it's Little Kitty. Have you been there the whole time, little cat? She probably has. Listening to me yammer. Okay, let's do this. Stopping the stream. Yes, so thank you to all of those people mentioned before, and anyone else who accidentally came in here to view the stream. All views are welcome and appreciated. And with that said, we are closing out. Stop the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.